In the first part of my video, I discussed why one should be able to mock religion. In this part, I'd like to examine fake Sagan's and Captain Austin's behavior, and whether there's any justification for it, and why they might have done what they did. Before doing so, I would encourage you to stop this video now and take a look at the videos that I'm linking to. Or actually, I'm linking to some profiles, and within those profiles you can see some videos. In the first profile, you should look at a 5-part series called Dispatches. Now, this will take a while, probably take about 15 minutes, but if you're interested in this sort of thing, it's an important series that was run, I think, on the BBC, and it examines Islamic extremism within Great Britain. I want you to pay close attention to Abu Usamah and what he has to say. Now, a lot of you are going to be pissed when you see what he has to say, and I suspect a lot of the Muslims in my audience are going to be pissed. A lot of you will say that what he's saying is un-Islamic, and you shouldn't view Islam by what he says. The trouble is, he is the main English preacher at the Green Lane Mosque, which is at least a somewhat influential mosque within Great Britain. It's the headquarters of a charity that runs 40 other mosques and learning centers within Great Britain. And it's also an affiliate of the Muslim Council of Britain, which has praised it, and the Muslim Council of Britain has praised Green Lane highly for their educational and outreach programs. So, although some of you might feel like he doesn't present the true face of Islam, he's not someone that should be dismissed as being totally uninfluential within the Islamic community. Now, if you look at 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the first part of the video, he states, "No one loves the Kufaar." Kufaar meaning someone who doesn't believe in Islam, a non-believer. No one loves the Kufaar. No one loves the Kufaar. Not a single person here from the Muslims loves the Kufaar. Whether those Kufaar from the UK or from the US, we love the people of Islam, and we hate the people of the Kufaar. We hate the Kufaar. Now, I'm also posting a rebuttal, a link to a profile where he rebuts the Dispatches videos. And he's going to say that this is taken out of context. A lot of it was taken out of context. A lot of it presents it in a false light. And as far as this particular passage goes, he says that, oh, no, really we got to treat the Kufaar with respect. If they're our neighbors, we got to treat them with respect. And in fact, what we're trying to do is get them to become believers in Islam. And how can you do that if you're not treating them to respect? But the thing is, that's not how he presented himself when he didn't know that the cameras were rolling in the mosque. Seems to me like this is not quite the message that he was presenting in the mosque. And it looks to me like a lot of spin on his part. Kind of reminds me of the kid who gets his hands caught in the cookie jar, and he turns to his mother and says, "Oh no, I wasn't taking the cookie. Really, I was trying to save the leprechaun that fell into the cookie jar. Really." Now, if you look at 5 minutes into the first part of the Dispatches video, he states, "Whoever changes his religion from Islam to anything else, kill him in the Islamic State." Now, from watching some of the videos put out by some of the Muslims here, I realize that this is not what true Islamic teaching is, that one should only kill someone not just for being an apostate, but for also actively working against Islam, for being an enemy of Islam, and then it's okay to kill him. So, from what I've learned, at least here on YouTube, this isn't really quite right. But nevertheless, this is what he stated. He's also virulently anti-Western, and he thinks killing homosexuals is just peachy keen, and he states that women aren't the equal of men. And when he clarified this, and again I encourage you to look at his clarification, he says, "Oh no, women, they're intellectually, they can be just as good as men at being scholars, and I'm not meaning to say that they're incompetent mentally, but in an Islamic court, it takes two women to testify for their testimony to be equal to that of one man. Well, maybe that's what it says. I don't buy it. Now, even more disturbingly, let's take a look at a few other clips. At 3 minutes and 58 seconds into part 2, he states, "The Imam of an Islamic state has the right to implement what Allah commanded him in the Koran." And then at 5 minutes and 10 seconds he states, "Verily, the reward for those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger, and they spread mischief in this earth, is that they should be killed, or they should be crucified, or their hands and feet should be cut off from opposite sides, or they should be expelled in the earth. This is their reward." So those who wage war against Allah, they certainly have a lot of nasty things coming to them. I certainly hope that He doesn't consider me as waging war against Allah, because I am opposed to an Islamic state. I highly value the separation of church and state. I'm an atheist. I wonder whether, because I'm expressing my views on YouTube, if an Islamic state were to be implemented, I wonder how long I would last there. Okay, and then he goes on and he talks about a book of major sins and things that are major sins under Islam. He mentions a few. He says murdering people. Okay, no problem with that. Stealing. Okay, well, I don't have too much of a problem with that, although I'm not sure that it deserves having your hands cut off, but at least not for a first offense. And drinking. Now there's a bit of a problem. I don't drink very much, but I recognize that a lot of people do, and I could very easily give it up, but that's a non-starter within most Western countries. And he also says revolting against the leader. Well, if the leader happens to be unjust, then it seems to me that one should be able to revolt against the leader. But more disturbingly, okay, let's keep that in mind what he said, and let's go on to part 3 of his putting the dispatches into context. He called homosexuality a major sin, and then he said that they are under Allah's decision. He says, if Allah wants to punish them, then He will. If He doesn't, it's up to Him. He then cited an Islamic scholar who looked at what happened with Sodom and Gomorrah and how Allah's angel destroyed them in Sodom and Gomorrah, and this scholar concluded that the appropriate way to kill homosexuals was to throw them off of a mountain. Now, to his credit, he did say that because Muslims live in Great Britain, that they should obey British laws, and that they shouldn't take it upon themselves to go out and kill homosexuals. And so I guess I should give him some brownie points for that. My question is, at least according to his version of Sharia, if Muslims grew strong enough to replace the English government with a theocracy, would the Imam, the leader of the state, have the right to have gays thrown from a mountain? What safeguards would there be against this? What safeguards would there be against killing people who drink booze? Now, maybe dressing inappropriately isn't a major sin, but one wonders how they would fare. What safeguards would there be to protect those who wage war against Allah and who question the right to have the state based on Sharia law? I hear all the time people on YouTube say, well, Islam welcomes questioning and criticism, but I wonder if in a Sharia state whether that sort of questioning would be so welcome. Now, I know a lot of Muslims will say, wait, this is being unfair. You shouldn't base what you think of Islam on this guy. He's an extremist. He doesn't represent Islam, and he would not be the type of person who could implement Sharia fairly.